Glam Junk Journals. Happy New Year to all of you. I wanted to do a video today, but first I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to my new subscribers and also my existing subscribers. Specifically, thank you to Tracy and Lorraine. You guys have been leaving comments on my videos, asking me some questions, and like I've told you guys before, I love to read your comments, to respond to them, and help you guys out in any way possible. So thank you so much. And if you would also consider liking and subscribing to my channel, it really helps me out. So like I said, we're doing a tutorial today, and I am thrilled to have been asked to be a guest design team member for Lydia of RaindropLila. I am honored and just so excited to dive into this. Now, what we are going to be creating today, I chose RaindropLila's kit, the Tall RoseRed EverGreen Collection. It's absolutely stunning. And let me show you some of the pages. I've already started a journal, so some of these pages you will see have been torn or kind of cut up, but let me show you some of the gorgeous digitals. Are these just beautiful? They're just beyond beautiful. Oh man, we are going to be using this particular page today, so I'm going to set that off to the side. And I'm not going to show you the other side because I've already started decorating this, but the graphics and the clarity, it's just, this kit is gorgeous and it's really large. This is not all of the pages in this kit. Let me see. Yeah, there is one of her backgrounds on there. I just love this kit. And this sort of collaged page is all of the different patterns that she's used within this kit. And like I said, I am going to be using the Tall RoseRed EverGreen. There's also a standard layout, but I am creating a tall journal with these papers. So that's why I chose that. Aren't they just wonderful? So like I said, for today, I am going to be focusing on this. And these are some of RaindropLila's Christmas tags. But, you know, to be honest with you guys, I love green no matter what season it is. It doesn't have to be Christmas time. And this gorgeous dark green just drew me in. I just think it's fabulous. So I'm going to be doing kind of a little tag series on my channel. I've got a couple other ideas for some videos. So today though, let me show you what we're creating. I already did one, and I'm calling this my Loaded Secret Pocket Tag. And as you can see, there's a little tuck pocket there, right there, right there. There's one in the middle of the tag and also on the back side. And I did want to mention that this the digital is also from RaindropLila. This is one of her Red Roses ephemera, and it just goes along with the whole color scheme. So there is a journaling card there, and this card here is part of the kit, and there are 4 designs, excuse me, move my arm here, 4 designs on her journaling card page. And as you can tell, I've already cut some of them up. So we're going to be using a couple of these today. So let's get into it. I'm so excited for 2024. Oh, it's just so many journals and so little time to create. I'm just beyond excited. So like I said, this is in a tall format. These tags can be created in any size. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing here. And this particular tag measures 3 across and 7 down. So I've already cut one out, and I move that off to the side. And I'm also going to do my best to recreate this tag, but do it kind of the opposite. So all of the embellishing and the pockets, I want to create this tag to have them on the left-hand side. This is along the right-hand side. I don't know about you guys, but I always gravitate towards embellishing on one side of my tags. And I don't know if that's just how my brain works. So we'll see how it goes today. So let's move that over. And this is printed on a 47-pound cardstock. And I like to use heavier paper to print for my tags because I don't care for flimsy tags. I want ones that will hold up to be able to hold, you know, pockets and ephemera and embellishments and all that kind of stuff. So I feel that the heavier weight paper works best for me. And let's see what else. I'm going to grab out some of these gorgeous papers here. And I have an idea on what we're going to use today. Where is it here? Oh yeah, it's this one. We're going to use that. And also this page. I love to pattern mix, as you guys know, and these just all go together. They coordinate so well, but they're all different patterns. And that's just one of my most favorite things is pattern mixings. So we're going to use this, and like I said, this, but what I did is I tore off a little corner of that page. As you can see, what that's gonna be, let me move my little goodies out of here, is this little pocket along the side. So all I did was I tore a piece of that digital and in a jagged, you know, a jagged line. It can also be a straight line. I like the jaggedness because it kind of is a vintage, distressed, grungy look, and I consistently go for that. So what I did is I tore it down, and this is also on the heavier weight cardstock. And what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do here? I got to look back at my example. This border, this little pocket here, is also on the back side. So we're going to recreate that today. So here is one of the digitals, and this is also the heavier weight cardstock. I am going to cut this out, and I am going to cut it about an inch longer than, or I should say wider than the tag. So I'm going to just mark that. Let me get my pencil here. And this is the eyeball method. As you guys know, I use that a lot. So I'm just going to mark along there. And then I do want to cut this piece of paper the same at the top so that it is exactly the same size as the other tag. So let me get out my little paper cutter here. It is an absolutely beautiful day here in Colorado. I can't believe it's the middle of winter. I know, it's just crazy. But that's one of the things that I do like about Colorado is we get some really major snowstorms, but then the next day or the next couple days it's sunny and it all melts, which is wonderful. All right, so let me see, what was I doing here? Going to line this up on the bottom, if I can get this going here. And then I'm going to cut just across the top so that our tag is the same at the top. So I'm going to flip it over like that and see it is exactly the same, but if it isn't, no big deal. You just cut it so that it is, right? And then I'm going to fold this over. Now, one thing that I do like to do is to get a straight line. I'm going to stand up here because it's always easier for me to get a good fold, a good crease. You could use, this is my steel ruler that I use, but you could also use a scoreboard or just eyeball it. But that way I like to get a good crease. And then get a little bone folder out there and get a good crease along the bottom. All right, so we've already got that put together like so. And on my example here, if you can see, I did do a little bit of an angle on this piece. And I don't know why I did that. I think it was just maybe how the paper folded. I don't know, but I like the way it looks. So we're going to do that on this one. And this is totally optional. So with that, I'm just going to cut off a little bit of a corner. And that's just definitely eyeball, right? I just like the way that looks. And I've got a good, you know, they're exactly the same on both sides. So what I want to do is just cut off these little ends here to make it the same tag shape, like so. And then you guys visualize where we're going with this. This goes underneath that little fold over, like so. And then we have the basis for our tag. And there is the back side. Now remember, we're going to have a pocket, a hidden pocket on this side. So we don't want to glue the whole thing together. And believe me, I've done that where I'm just like, oh yeah, time to glue. And then I'm like, oh man. I do that all the time. And another thing I did want to mention here is, as you can see on this particular tag, I did do some stickles, and I'm absolutely loving the stickles. You could also use the gilding wax here. Let me get that out. Hold on just a sec. The Rub and Buff, and I'm also a huge fan of this. So you could go along the side with that. And the stickles that I'm going to use today are platinum. Love those. Absolutely love them. And you don't even have to do this. This is just something that I like to do to add a little bit of sparkle. So it's definitely an optional step. And what I like to do is apply my stickles with a cotton swab. Just because to me, I'm kind of, I don't know what it is, heavy-handed, and I get, I don't know, I get blobs. But if you can do it with just your fingers, that's great. And another thing I wanted to mention is if you want to distress the edges, and I did want to do this side here, so I'm going to do that just because I like that look. I like the vintage look, and my go-to is walnut stain. I have used a lot of other ones, but you know, I'm just digging the walnut stain. Okay, so there's that. And another thing that I want to call your attention to is, remember our pocket on the side here. I don't care for white on the backs, and there again, that's personal preference. But what I like to do is just distress around the edge of what's going to be seen, because you're not going to see a lot of this. And I don't really care if it, you know, is all even. I just want to take the whiteness down a little bit. So I'm going to just go across there, and the same on the other side here. That's, you know, another totally optional step. And I do kind of like how the circles look on there from my dauber here. So I think that looks cool. And it's, like I said, just to take down the white. That's just how I like things. Personal preference. You could also line the back with, you know, a book page, a music sheet, some other sort of paper. That would be awesome also. Okay, because what's going to happen when this folds up is you're only going to see that little bit. You're not going to see way in there. So that's what I like. Now I'm going to add my stickles to the corner on here. Let me get this going here. If it comes out, come on here, you. There we go. and go just along the outside of, you know, just along the edge. And do as much or as little or none. I just like the way it looks. Stickles take about 10 minutes to dry, something along those lines. They don't take that long. The gilding, this rub and buff, this takes a little longer. That's probably about 20 minutes if you want to use that. But you could always speed it up with your dryer if you wanted to do that too. So I'm just going along these two edges right along here. Come on, get on there. And something that I like about Stickles is when it dries, you just see the glitter. You don't see any of the glue, which is very cool. So it just looks like a line of glitter. All right, so that looks fabulous. Put this away here. All right, now let's construct this beauty again. So it's going to go like that, and it's going to go like so. Now what I want to do is I am going to stop the camera and use my dryer on this to get it dried really quick, and then I'm going to come back. And another thing that I think I'm going to do after that's dry, before I come back, well, no, actually, scratch that. Never mind, I'm getting ahead of myself. So hold on just a second, and I'm gonna dry this and I'll be right back. All right, the stickles are dry. So here we go. We are going to put this baby together. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go right along this crease with my glue stick. You can use any glue you would like, art glitter glue, your Fabrifix, Fabri-Tac. So I'm going to go right along there, and then along the top, and then along the bottom, but not on the side, because that's where our little pocket is going to be. I'm going to get this lined up as much as I can. Like that. That looks good. And we're going to add this little jagged side pocket here. Whoops. Put that in there. And I'm just lining it up so that it is straight against the bottom there. Like so. And then let me get my wipe out here. I get glue on my hands. I think I'm going to add a little more glue just right on the seam. You don't want it all the way up on this flap because that's going to be a pocket. So I'm going to press that down like so, and then across the side there. That looks wonderful. Now I am going to need a little bit more down here just to get it to stick. Like so, like that. And then it looks like I'm going to need more on the top here. You want a pretty liberal amount so that this really stays. And this is where, on my example, I did sew across the top and across the bottom. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that or when I'm going to do this on this particular tag. So let's just continue on. And as you can see, there's a little bit of white there. So I'm just going to distress that and make it disappear. Oh, look, it's gone. Yay. And then how does the back look? The back looks fabulous. I'm going to go along and distress that just a little bit. Okay, now what I did is I took this gorgeous piece of trim and created a pocket in the back and a little one on the front. So I have another piece of trim, and as you guys know, I got a whole bunch of trims from Sheila of Boho Daydreams. and these are from there. So I thought either that one would go, and I think that that looks really pretty like that. Doesn't that look good? Let's see how that one looks. Or I thought this one would look really pretty too. Oh man, I don't know. I just don't know because they look fabulous. I think what I'm going to do is use this one because it's a little wider, and that way I can get more of a pocket in the back. So on this, I am going to use my art glitter glue, and the reason for that is it's a fine tip, and my Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac a lot of times comes out gloppy. Now that may be me, and it may be just you know, the altitude I live in, I don't know, but I have more success with this. That's just a side note. So I am going to go right along the edge. Well, actually, hold on just a second. What I want to do is also make sure I have a teeny tuck right there. So I'm going to have to use very small amount right along these little flowers like that, because I do want that little tiny tuck. All right, so I'm going along there, and I'll probably have to cut this down, but that's okay. So what I did is I was looking at where these hit right along the edge, if that makes sense. And I want to get right near the border so that I have a little bit of room to tuck something. So this is where you kind of have to just eyeball and see what looks good. And I think that that looks wonderful. What I'm going to do is flip it over, and then I'm going to glue the back. Now that is, let's see, right along the seam. So I'm going to go all the way up, and I'll cut the excess off the top. And so I'm going to go right along the edge like that. Flip that over. And then make sure I get the bottom really good. And another thing that I like about the art glitter glue is it dries clear, and you don't get any residual. You can't see it. It doesn't leave a mark. So we've got our little tuck right along the side like that. And then I'm going to cut that off the top here. And then we have our big pocket in the back. I'm just going to go and take that little bit off the top and continue on the tag shape. So I'm going to cut off that little corner, and there you have it. There is our tag. Now, not embellished, right? You know me, gotta do the embellishing here. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to stop the camera and sew right along the bottom and right along the top. And you know, sewing is always optional. Just make sure it's securely glued if you don't want to sew or don't have a sewing machine. And I will be right back. I'm putting the lid on my glue. So I'll be right back. All right, everyone. Yay! I sewed across the top with a zigzag stitch and right along the bottom, and I also added an eyelet with my crocodile. So as you can see, we've got the pocket right along there, right here, right here, right here, and right here. So let's do the final embellishing. So looking at my example again, I did add some crinkled seam binding at the top, and I do have some of this red sorry, silk, and I think that would look wonderful. So I am going to get out my pokey tool and get this going through there like that. I'm standing up so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to pull that through. I just threaded it through right in the center and then created a loop. I'm going to pull that back through and pull that tight. Now, on my example, I had all of my embellishments going along this side, so I want them to go along this side. So that's just, you know, that's, like I said, that's new for me because I'm like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. What the heck? All right, so there's that. And then I did add some additional embellishments just because I thought it looked pretty with this. So I have some, this is like a dark red. I've got some crinkled seam binding. I've got a little strip of lace there and another bit of lace. What else do I have over here? I've got some silver silver trim because you guys know I love sparkle. I just do. It's me. So what I'm doing is I'm just folding these all over in half, and I'll probably have to cut some of them, but that's all right. So I just fold it over in half, and I'm kind of creating a, you know, like a side tassel. And all I do is I smush it all together like that and, you know, move it around, get it the way you like it. I think that looks really pretty along there. And then I am going to glue it right along the top like that. Now for this, I am going to use my, where is it? E6000, because this is an extra strong hold glue, and I feel that it really works for these type of projects. Now, if you didn't want to do this little side tassel embellishment, you could do a clip, you know, a bulb pin on the side here, and that is actually a really good idea, but I'm not going to do that today. Or you can leave it alone, you know, don't have to do this additional embellishment, but you know me, more is more. More is more. So I'm going to get a pretty good amount going up on this upper left corner right here. And I'm going to get that in between all of my little bits here, all of my trims. And I'm just going to glue that onto the top. Now see this one? That did not work. I got to get that back in there and get them so that they dangle kind of the way you want. Now that looks wonderful, but like I said with the E6000, that takes a little while to dry. So I'm going to clip that just like that and let that sit for just a minute. I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. And the final embellishment, and I will cut these down a little bit because they're kind of big here, is I want to add this little bit on the side right there. And I'm also going to do, whoops, the E6000 on that. So let me do that right there. Where's this? And I'm going to get a liberal, I mean, we're talking quite a bit on here because I want this to be secure. And then I think that that is going to be fabulous. Now what I'm going to do, and I apologize for stopping the camera again, I'm going to let this dry and then I'll come back and I'll show you the final tag. It's going to look beautiful. So hold on just a minute. Okay, everybody, I am super excited. Look at how cute that is. And this is secure on there. That E6000 is the bomb. And I also decided to tie the Sari silk ribbon in a bow because I think that looks really cute on the top. So let's add our final little touches here. Here is one of the Red Roses cards right there from RaindropLila. And then along the back, I created a little journaling card right along there that fits along the back, like so. And then, can't forget our little secret pocket right in the center there. Let me get that, let me move that out of the way first. Get that going. So I put a little postcard in there. As you know me, I love postcards. So that looks wonderful like that. And then we got this guy in the back, right along there. Oh, I just think that looks so good. And then if you recall, we have the little pockets right there. So let me get out, I had a little bit of ephemera here, a little calling card that I thought would look adorable, stuck right along there. And then even some littler guys, I cut these out with one of my punches, and it goes right along the side there. So there you have it. There's our hidden pocket page, or hidden pocket loaded tag. Whew, that's a mouthful. Now on this one I did add an additional applique, but I don't really feel that this one needs one because it's got a lot going on, and you know me, more is more, but I think it looks wonderful just like that. So I love these. I am thrilled to be a part of RaindropLila's guest design team, and I've got some more tutorials coming up using her gorgeous digitals. So thank you all for being here with me today, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.